Hey, I'm here with Keith, the CTO Advisor.
So I'm going to start it out controversial because every CTO advisor, we have to have a little controversy.
Please, let's do it.
And you've credited me 3 times already, even or Evan, because it's a Twitter handle. We only know each other by Twitter handles.
We do.
CTO Advisor is pretty good. And even is, I want to say even though it's not spelled even.
It's Evan and Kirstel. We've been following each other for years, probably.
Yes.
And yet have never been introduced, really never met. So welcome to the world of social media, right?
Yeah, welcome to the world of social media. I've seen you at like Combalt Go, etc., but we've never actually sat down, had a conversation.
This is very, very civilized. I just love your setup. For the people on audio who are listening, I guess we have 22 followers now. Tell us where I am exactly. Describe our setup.
So we're inside a 28 foot in length, 27 Flying Cloud 27 front bed, which means that we're in the Airstream. It is about 180 square feet.
It's gorgeous. It's stunning. It's a beautiful.
It is
machine.
If people want to see pictures of it, you can check out my Twitter feed. I have plenty of pictures. But we're located in a campsite in we're just south of Boston, right?
We are. We're southwest. It's a gorgeous day. You are in the king and queen of campsites here. This is an amazing place.
Normandy Farms.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And tell us, how has the first 2 weeks of your journey been? What's been the highlights, lowlights?
All right, so low point was last week when we figured out that you cannot cool off a 180-foot Airstream with one air conditioner. When the temperature hits 80 degrees, you have to start out the day cold, end the day cold.
Now do 120 in Texas, right?
That is going to be interesting. July in Texas is going to be interesting for us. High point is actually with Exchange Goddess, Pumla Smith. We had lobster. Her mom and her dad are literally heroes, but now live with her, and her mom cooked us whole lobsters.
That's awesome.
It was amazing.
So how many more weeks do you have left on this magnificent road trip?
11 weeks.
11 weeks. So is this what you envisioned with the idea you came up with last year to go on the road with in the middle of a pandemic with an RV and meet people? Like, where did this amazing idea come from?
So it was my wife's idea. She had become part of we call it the V community. We had dinner last night with Luigi Danicos and his lovely wife Mara, and the concept was basically, hey, let's get back out and talk to people.
Right.
Meet people we haven't met before, reconnect, get sponsors to sponsor all of this, and just have a great time again, because we can't do it at conferences anymore.
Living the dream. This is fantastic.
It's the dream.
So it's like nomad land in real life. And what about the tech setup here? Like, we're on the camera here. You've got obviously Wi-Fi at the campsite. You got all kinds of 4G, 5G. Has it been tough to take the show on the road?
It has not been without challenges.
Yeah.
The biggest challenges is that we do video. So we're shooting this in 4K right now.
Right.
And consistently I've had to downgrade the video to 1080p so that I can upload it over LTE to my editors, because you're not going to upload 16 gig of data over any LTE. I have a grandfather AT&T account, so AT&T has been fairly kind to me. I have we've been on the road for 2 weeks, and I have used about 300 gigs of data.
Amazing.
Over LTE.
Amazing. Now you're sponsored for this trip.
Uh-huh.
Tell us about your sponsor and that relationship with the kind of content you're creating.
We're still looking for a named sponsor, so if anybody out there want to become the named sponsor of the CTO Advisor Road Trip.
This is huge.
But we do have 3 different sponsorship levels, similar to a conference. We have Gold, which Faction Inc. is one of the gold sponsors. They're a storage a cloud storage vendor, very good supporters of the CTO Advisor, and NetApp are platinum sponsors. NetApp, we did a video in a Tesla. I think you saw that.
Right, great company.
Greg Neerman, we did a video in a Tesla talking about AI and cloud.
So you really blended your personal and professional life. Congratulations. Do you think this is the next normal for a lot of people, kind of taking their professional life and just maybe hitting the road, being more connected to other people, not necessarily just at big events, but in small, more intimate settings?
Yeah, I think this is the future of work. I know you talk about the future of work a lot.
Yeah.
And I think this is the future of work. We've run into a plethora of full-time RVers who have become full-time RVers over the past year, and they're working. Today is laundry day, and we ran into a woman who said, "Oh, I have to run and get my laptop because I'm technically at work," as she's doing laundry.
That's fantastic. Now, what about as a creator? You're a writer, you're a blogger, a videographer. Do you find you're more creative on the road? Like, what kind of content are you sort of creating on this journey?
So I don't have enough time to create all the different types of content I would like to create. One of the things that I thought would happen was that I just grab the camera and we do a bunch of video content and then publish that content. But there's so much missing from that. When I talked to two entrepreneurs in Akron, Ohio, manufacturers competing against China. Super interesting story, and we captured a 15-minute conversation, but there's probably a good 2 or 3 blog posts of just perspective that I've learned from them. So it's a combination, primarily blog post and video.
Fantastic. Now, what about social media? We met on social media, years before we were actually formally introduced. What value do you find in social, both in documenting this journey and connecting with people? Like, what's been your experience as kind of a social creature in particular on this trip?
Well, you can't beat real-time feedback.
Yeah.
Even
Twitter, etc.
And I cannot thank the Twitter followers as much enough when they were helping guide me through this RV purchase. I've never. I remember
you almost crowdsourced your
the
information and selection of all the gear and the setup, and I remember reading it like, this is going to be really fun to watch for better or worse, but obviously things worked out well.
Yeah, and at first I had in mind a specific type of rig and setup, and people were like, "You're crazy! Why would it's Twitter, so people have opinions. You're crazy! Why would you ever do that?" And then,
there's a huge audio-video community there as well,
and they've helped out a lot.
That's awesome. And so, you have another few weeks. Kind of then what? Like, is this going to be a semi-permanent feature where you're just sort of on the road and traveling around to events, or what do you think?
So we've talked about that a lot, and Melissa again is the brainchild of this, and she challenged me even on this, and she said, why don't we make this a data center on wheels?
Oh, now it gets interesting.
And me, the technologies, I'm like, whoa, slow your roll. We can't even figure out air conditioning, and you want to have
maybe it'll be a small cell on wheels. You can get a 5G sponsor to put something on your roof.
And that's the idea. The guy from AT&T just connected with me the other day. But her concept is that we basically go from city to city, gradually build the data center on wheels, and then end up at a big conference, say VMworld, and then we're on the show floor of VMworld showing the thing. Like we've done the road show, and now we're at VMworld. We plug in the next piece and light up the
it's really comfortable in this Airstream. I mean, I hope Airstream is sponsoring because they're getting so much free PR. But people can come in, chat, have a coffee. It's really spacious. I'm here on the couch. You can't see it, but it's really comfortable. What a great workspace in terms of your remote office.
Yeah, and it's pretty. Jeremiah Owing, we should have tagged him. Gave me he said, Keith, you have to do an Airstream.
Right.
But a lot of people are using this as their remote office in their backyards.
Right.
And
fixed.
It's a fixed thing, and I see why. It's a wonderful place to be creative. Like the beautiful light, The aesthetic just lends itself to being creative.
Well, I love it. Well, I'm going to turn off my audio in a minute, but thanks so much. We'll do a quick video shoot as well, so people can get a feel for the Airstream and meet Keith and the setup. But great to see you, and we'll continue chatting in person.
All right. For those on video, even where can folks find you?
I'm Mr. Twitter, so you can always find me on Twitter at Evan Kirstel, and I just retweet or tweet it at Keith, and he'll be sure to hook you up. And really, just congratulations on such an amazing project.
Now, I don't know if I just said even or Evan just a second ago.
It's Evan, but
I don't know which one I said, but it's Evan. And we started out. I have problem spelling EVAN.
Right.
Is
there aren't many.
Literally Evan.
Keith is a little more simple.
Yeah.
And you're gonna go out to Boston, check out the sites, the history, and I can't wait to see your tweets. So.
All right. Check you guys next video.